Okay, this is where I think multiplying using the box method is going to come in really handy. Because when we multiply a binomial times a trinomial, it can get pretty messy. I'm still going to be distributing everything in this first set of parentheses by the second set of parentheses. So I'm going to multiply x by x squared. I'm going to multiply x by 2x, and finally I'm going to multiply x by 1. But then I'm also going to multiply the negative 2 times x squared, the negative 2 times 2x, and the negative 2 times 1. But again, to make my life easier, or to keep it, whoops, so we don't want to see that. That is crazy. Forget all that stuff. It doesn't even exist. To keep myself somewhat organized, again, I want to use this box method, or the box approach. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the last problem. I'm going to take the first binomial, and by the way, I'm multiplying a binomial by a trinomial, so now I have a 2 by 3 little grid. But I'm going to write the binomial on the side. So I have x, and I have a negative 2. And across the top, I'm going to write the trinomial. So I have x squared, a positive 2x, and a positive 1. And again, I'm just going to multiply the matching elements and fill in that grid. So x times x squared gives me x to the third. X times 2x gives me 2x squared. And x times 1 just gives me x. I'm going to go down the second, or across the second row. So I have negative 2 times x squared. So I have negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times positive 2x. So that's negative 4x. And negative 2 times 1, which is just, of course, negative 2. So now I just want to collect everything down at the bottom and then combine my like terms. So collecting everything, do that in blue. Why not? I like blue. X cubed. You probably heard that. That was my dryer going off. X cubed plus 2x squared plus x minus 2x squared, I'm going across the second row, minus 4x, and minus 2. So here I'm going to have a little bit more work for combining my like terms. So I'm going to go ahead and just sort of organize everything. I'm going to put a circle around the x to the third power. I'm going to put a square around the 2x squared, or the positive 2x squared. I'm going to put another square around the negative 2x squared, because they're like terms, same variable and same exponent. And then I guess I'll put a heart around x, because we keep variables in our heart always, and also a heart around the negative 4x. And finally, I will put a triangle around the negative 2. Okay, once I clean all of that up, then I have x to the third power. It doesn't combine with anything, so that is just going to be x to the third power. And I'm going to cross it out to keep my story straight. I have a positive 2x squared, and I have a negative 2x squared, so those are going to add to 0, so I'm just going to cross them out in this case. I have my x in my heart, and I have a negative 4x in my heart, so that's going to become, or combine to, negative 3x. And then finally I just have, let me cross them out, and I have a negative 2, and there's nothing to combine that with, so it just stays negative 2. And there you have it. That is a binomial multiplied by a trinomial. And as long as you keep your story straight and make your little box, it shouldn't be really hard at all. So you're going to have another writing assignment on Blackboard, and if you haven't finished the other 2 writing assignments, then you can also take a few minutes to finish those up, and then we'll move on to a little bit of practice.